What is going on, everybody? RA, one of your pro wrestling nerds here, and I really want to talk about NXT call-ups today. Basically, who I think we're going to get called up here in the very near future, either through just coming up naturally, or more likely we have the draft coming up, and it'll probably get called up to that, because I believe there's going to be a lot of call-ups coming in the near future, because it's just time for some of these guys. So, let's hit that intro, get into it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop comments down below. Who do you want to see called up? Who do you think is going to get called up? Let's do it.
Yeah, it's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too pop. Getting caught with a few thoughts cause I'm too lost. Let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up.
Alright, the first one I want to get out of the way is a real easy one because it's pretty much happened, is Roxanne Perez. She's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. She's pretty much already on Raw. I think they might keep her double dutying on NXT for a minute because I think they might do a stand and deliver match with her and Bayley. But other than that, she's pretty much called up. Let's just get that one out of the way. The next one is her buddy, Cora Jade. Yeah. I can go both ways on this. She's been around since NXT 2.0, and you're going to see a theme in that. I think pretty much anybody who's been in since NXT 2.0, it's time for them to come in with a few exceptions. Her might be in that with her big injury last year. They might hold her back. She says she was stunted in her development, but I don't see her needing much more. I think she's ready. I think possibly she could go, but I wouldn't be surprised if they held her another year just because she lost most of last year with that knee injury. Next up is Fallon Henley, another 2.0 star. It's pretty much time for her, you know? It's the only way I could see her staying is if they gave her a main event run, like maybe going after Julia in the title. I wouldn't even see her winning it as much as I would love that. I'm an absolute massive Fallon Henley fan. I would love to see her have the NXT title, but she's already had the Women's North American title. She's had a tag title run. Not much left for her to do there outside of, actually having a true main event run, which could be the only thing that holds her back from the draft. I might be able to see her getting called up later on in the year if they wanted to do that. But Fallon, another one I could definitely see getting called up. And speaking of Fallon Henley and Fatal Attraction, Jacy Jayne. It's shit or get off the pot time with her. She's been around since 2.0. There's no upside in keeping her, except for, if they just wanted to keep Fatal Attraction together, or have her there to mentor Jasmine Nix, because if her and Fallon get called up, what do they do with Jasmine Nix? It could kind of be a whole Chase U thing over again. They don't know what to do with any of them. So they might keep her there to help that. But again, like I said, most of NXT 2.0 stars, it's either get rid of them or get them up there. It's that time. It's time. Next up, I'm looking at Tony D, another 2.0 star. I'm going to have a lot of these. He literally has pretty much nothing less to do. He's had a main event run. He had the main event last year against Ilya at Stand and Deliver. He's been Tag Champ. He's been North American Champ. He's been Heritage Cup Champ. He's been one of the stalwarts of NXT. It's time to move him up. I actually kind of already see that happening. They keep pushing for Stacks to kind of be his own man, make his own decision. And that, I think that might be them pulling Tony away from the family and letting Stacks take over that point of that faction, which I could see. So easily Tony D probably should be called up. Next up, Trick Williams, Big Trick Daddy. He literally has nothing left to do. Only thing he hasn't won in NXT is the Heritage Cup, and he was already way too big for that when it was brought in. He's been two-time NXT champion. He's been North American champion. Okay, he hasn't won the tag titles. I forgot about that. But, he really doesn't have anything left to do. He's been the top star for the past year. He's main event ready. I think there's just nothing. I don't see any reason to keep him in NXT. I've been looking. There's no reason to keep him in NXT. It's time to move Trick up. I think he gets moved up. Then we have Ethan Page. Yeah, he just got here, but I see this kind of like when they did with Drew McIntyre. They brought him in to NXT for a short time to get him acclimated to the WWE system. I think he's there. He's ready. I don't think he's going to go up to the main roster and be a world champion or anything, but he could be a solid mid-carder fighting for the U.S. and IC titles and even tag team titles. And maybe even flirt with a program on the main event, but I don't see him being a world champion. Never will be a world champion in that regard, but he's damn good and it's ready for him. He's ready to go. He was never meant to be a long-term NXT guy. Then we got Gigi Dolin. She's kind of in the same boat as Cora Jade, where she's a 2.0 girl. She needs to be brought up. She's done a lot already in NXT. She's been there forever, but she did have that injury last year, which might have stunted her growth back. But I don't see anything they could do moving her forward. She's ready to come up. It's time to move her up. Then we got the newly signed Jordynne Grace. I don't think she was ever meant to truly be an NXT thing. I think she just showed up. I think she's just there to do a quick program to have something to do with because she doesn't need to be in the WrestleMania picture. WrestleMania is for people who've been there the whole year, have put in the work to get there. You don't just drag somebody in unless it's like a legend for a last-minute thing. No disrespect to Jordynne Grace. She's great. Next year, WrestleMania, absolutely. I think she gets called up. They have her in NXT right now to have her doing something while they're paying her. She signed a main roster contract. That's just where it is. She's going to get called up to the main roster after WrestleMania. Then we're looking at Shawn Spears, a veteran who's been on the main roster, is now in NXT. That's why I can see him being called up. I don't see them needing to take a spot from a younger talent to be there. But he could also be that kind of guy who's there because, as you see with his faction, he's taking young guys and bringing them up and teaching them. That could be his thing. He might not come to NXT, come out of NXT for that reason. For the pure fact that he's there to be a teacher now because, he already has his school. He knows how to do this. That might be why he's there. You might never see him on the main roster. So I'm a little iffy on him, but I could see him getting called up if they wanted to do more with him. And then finally, we got Mr. Chase, Andre Chase. Another 2.0 guy. He's kind of like in limbo right now. I see where they're coming with it. Him getting a new crop of Chase U students, it looks like. I called that's what it should have been in the first place because the way that faction is, they're supposed to be at college. In college, you graduate, you move on. And so him keeping the same group of students for years, all these years, doesn't make sense. They should have went on their separate ways. And I lost my train of thought. Hold on. So him bringing in new recruits is a genius move. It looks like they're doing that with a couple of the younger guys they're bringing in. And he might, and like Shawn Spears, he might not leave NXT at all. He might be just there because I don't see his gimmick working on the main roster that much, which is sad because he's really good in that role and he's really good, period. So I wouldn't be surprised him just staying in NXT and being that guy who just helps being able to be a funnel, being a tube for the Performance Center people to come in and get TV time. Alright, I'm sitting here editing and I totally forgot about Gallus. This is a group that hasn't been on TV for a while, so I completely forgot about them. But it's a group that's long overdue for a call-up. Honestly, I could see him putting them with Karrion Kross and keeping the Final Testament going on with the releases of AOP and Paul Ellering. I think it kind of meshes well with them. I think they would do well with that. But this is another group that literally has so much not to do, they're not even using them. It's time to call them up. Well, there you have it. Those are 11 people I think that could be brought up from NXT to the main roster very soon because there's tons in the way. They just really cleared out a bunch of people through releases. So a lot of these people it's just shit or get off the pot time with them, and they need to do something with them or give them a clear view. So anyways, remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, drop a comment down below. Thanks for watching. We will see you again.
Watch out, 'cause I'm here now and I'm staying.